JJ, you're doing a tour of Spain this week, I understand. How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm going to 4 different cities, Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia and Sevilla. It's going really well. Lovely audiences as usual. The teachers are great. Everyone's been really friendly. The presentations have gone down okay, I think, and I've been eating great food. So yeah, all going well.
Okay, pleased to hear it. And so these presentations, what sort of themes have you been touching on in your presentations?
I've mainly been talking about strategies for learning, just because one of the main problems our students tend to have is that they don't know how to help themselves to learn. So I'm really just giving teachers a few tips, bits of advice, ways to help our students help themselves as learners, to become better learners.
Okay, great. In terms of bits of advice, you wrote an award-winning book, an ELT methodology book on listening, of course. What advice would you give for new teachers in this skill area?
For new teachers teaching listening? Well, apart from buying the book, How to Teach Listening, it's a very big area, obviously. It's a skill, which means people need to practice it again and again and again in order to develop. But I would say the key thing is to give students lots and lots of support. It's a very difficult skill, listening. It used to be known as the Cinderella skill. That's what David Noonan called it, because it's like Cinderella. It's kind of ignored as a skill, because the skills we really focus on are particularly speaking and reading. So listening kind of got left behind a little bit. But how can teachers support the students? That's my main, I guess that's the main theme of the book in this difficult skill. And there are different ways of doing it. I mean, the key thing is to prepare students really well for the listening before they even listen. So they know what the topic is. They know what some of the key vocabulary is going to be. They are prepared in terms of the content of the text. What kind of genre is it, for example? Is it something factual? Is it comedy? So preparation is a key thing. And then there are certain activities you want to do with the students and others you don't want to do. So for example, the first task for listening has to be something extremely simple. Don't ask the students to listen and write 200 words at the same time. Just let them focus on listening. Perhaps the second task can be a little more complex, and maybe a third task, they do something productive with the text, with what they heard and what they understood. So really, I'm summarising, obviously, it's a huge topic, listening. But I think just give the students lots of support and make it a progression between before listening, while listening and after listening.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
Sure. Yeah.
On to ELT course books. I know you're an award-winning author of Speak Out, of which the 2nd edition came out last year.
Yeah.
What were your aims when writing this book?
Yeah, well, if you look at the title of the book, Speak Out, it's very clear that the focus is on speaking, and that's really the aim. We wanted to write a very, very communicative course book, and I think we probably succeeded with Speak Out. We also wanted to bring the real world into the classroom, and I know that's kind of a line that has been used about Speak Out. It brings the real world into the classroom. There's lots of authentic material, particularly filmed material from the BBC. So it's those two things, authenticity and communication, that we really wanted to focus on with Speak Out. Having said that, of course, there's a very solid grammar syllabus. All the other skills are practiced, writing, reading, and listening as well as speaking. So I think it's a very complete series, but the main thing is speaking, communication.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, I know after your tour in Spain, you're off to TEFL for a week as well.
Yeah.
What are you going to be speaking about there?
Okay, well, I'm giving a plenary on English language teaching and social justice. This is something I was asked to do by TEFL. The organisers asked me to do this because they know I've been involved in various social movements. I write a lot about social justice. I've been quite active in different areas of social justice. So it's really quite a tangential area. Not many people in our field know about it, do it, and I think that's one of the reasons I was asked to tackle this theme.
Okay, great. Sounds very interesting. Well, thanks for joining me.
Absolute pleasure, Michael.
Cheers.
Cheers.